Kelly. I didn't really want you to jump at me like that. Got a sequence that I have to kind of work here because this moss and the clay is frozen solid. It's minus 19 Celsius out. I need to block the cold from coming in and get the heat cranked up in here. Well, all that airspace around the door is letting too much cold air in. So I need to trim the existing door, which I know it's this door is basically the same thickness, so that's fine. So I can trim that existing door to keep the cold air out. And then I can decide if I have enough time tonight to get this door on before it gets too cold and too dark. But in the meantime, I'm going to cut this, trim this up, get this installed, and then see if I can get this clay and moss thawed out so that I can pull it out of here so that I can get a floor in here. Then I need to insulate the floor with sawdust, because there's a lot of cold air that's going to continue to come in from the bottom logs and then come up or sit in the bottom and kind of make the whole cabin feel cold. What I'll do though is leave one spot uninsulated right here near the door as a cold sump. So the cold air comes in, instead of spreading across the floor, it drops into this cold area right here as a cold sink. And then the everything above floor, the stove can keep heated up. Well, my goose has not thawed because it was so cold today. So I'll eat through the rest of my camping pack and then I'll restock it in the spring. So the last of the things, I've got some Thai tom yum soup. It's a spicy paste, it's a hot soup. I've got some rice and some coconut flakes. Got this sourdough whole wheat loaf that didn't rise. That fire is nice and hot. Let's get some water in here. Oh yeah, sugar, salt, soybean oil. Okay, this is not good. Don't eat this. This is a horrible meal. Do not mimic this meal. Definitely afraid to eat that soup on my lap. Well, I think I'm gonna head up and go to bed. I planned on reading these actually up in bed, but got a comfortable seat here. It's just the right temperature down here. It's about plus 15, I would say, Celsius in this little corner. Hotter near the stove, and much hotter up in the loft. So I'm gonna let it cool down a bit up there before I head up. time. Let's crank the stove up. I've had the heat down kind of cool in here. It's about 12 degrees Celsius. While I was working, it was actually perfect working temperature. But I need to get some water boiled. I'm making confit wild goose with short grain brown rice and kimchi. So that's been on the stove all day, just simmering in duck fat. That's what confit is. Actually, confit, I think the proper term is you cook it in the duck fat and then you preserve it that way as well. So you just let it harden with the fat congealed, or the fat hardened on top. So everything is inside the fat, fully contained with no air getting to it, and it actually will last quite a while. Like that, you can store meat in that fat. So that's going to be fall off the bone tender, awesome. I've cooked other things like that, like squirrel, duck, rabbit, all taste amazing cooked like that. All right. The problem is I don't have as many pots as I thought I had up here of the right size, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna cook the wild rice in. That's crazy good. Completely cold. I hear you out there. You know, I have to say that this may be the most rewarding couple of days for me of this whole project, this whole cabin build. It's still below minus 20 Celsius out there, so below 0 Fahrenheit. You know, those temperatures outside and to be that warm inside, I was very, very happy, very impressed with this. With the temperature differential between outside and inside. And that's just, you know, speaks for the thermal mass efficiency of a log cabin. Thick logs, the stone floor, the the heavy cast fireplace, wood stove, and just everything in here that heats up and then retains the heat and slowly releases it throughout the night. So very happy with it. You know, I was thinking about where this adventure started, and I'm not even sure. I look back at that first video I did back in February, I think it was, February, March, where I said I was going to set out to build a free log cabin in the woods. Things changed so dramatically from that video. And like I said, I can't even recall why I did that. I was just one day got up and it's going to go for a walk in the woods and look around and find a place to build a cabin and do it. You know, sometimes when you have a dream, you have a wish, that's all it ever becomes. It's where it stays at that dream or that I want stage. Never is a good time to start something, especially something of this magnitude. I've been dreaming about doing since I sold my property back in must have been 2001, a year after my second daughter was born, and we needed the money. I had to sell the property that I built that last cabin on. And it never felt right, you know, it wasn't that big a dollar amount, but we had made the decision that my wife was going to stay home and look after the kids and quit her job rather than have a career. She would do the right thing and raise the kids by being home for them. So the property was one of the sacrifices I had to make to allow her financially to be able to stay home. And of course, never regret that. That was the best decision. So glad we did that. I guess over the last 15 years, I've kind of been missing that property and missing that cabin. Instigated me to get up off my butt and do something about it. And you know, 9-10 months later, here I am sitting in a cabin, warm, protected from the elements, you know, fulfilling a dream that I had and being able to share it this time with my wife and create this thing together. You know, it's a very emotional experience for me. You know, all the hard work that I've been putting into this thing, you know, all the planning and all the late nights thinking about how I'm going to take that next step, how am I going to overcome these challenges that kept coming at me throughout the project. Everywhere from where am I going to get the materials to, you know, where am I going to build this thing? How am I going to buy a property to put the cabin on? How am I going to find property where I'm allowed to build a cabin like this? And then getting those materials back here into the bush, that's been an ongoing challenge. As you saw earlier in this video, the walk I need to do to carry each and every piece of lumber and every log, water, bringing that up and collecting that just to keep me going. Just so many challenges, and you know, they don't always come across on video. My wife tells me I tend to make things look maybe too easy on film. Don't show the hardships, but to me they're just, I don't even look at them as hardships. I just look at them as necessary steps in achieving my dream, achieving this goal. And then I think, you know, every time I got into a place of complacency or time that I've given up in my life, and I've taken that first step to change my situation, you know, that first step is the hardest, but you know, once you get up off that couch, you get up out of this chair and you put your mind to it, it's amazing what you can accomplish. And we all have that in us. It's not unique to me by any means. And you know, it's amazing. Time passes quickly. And you think, well, I'm going to start that tomorrow or on Monday or in the new year. That'll be my New Year's resolution. And before you know it, life has passed you by and you just haven't taken those steps. You haven't taken that first step and all the steps that follow it to achieve your dreams and achieve your goals. And for me, like I said, today in particular, last few days up here in the cabin, overcoming the challenges now of extreme cold. You know, things still aren't done, but they're getting there. They're getting to that point where I can sit back and enjoy the fruits of my labor. Taking a leisurely breakfast here this morning, waiting for the sun to rise over the trees there and warm up the forest a little bit before I go out and do some work outside. And I'm glad I took that first step back in February. Well, I'm going to wrap this one up right here. It's been a great week for me here at the cabin. I hope you had a great week as well, and I hope you have another great week coming up. So thanks for watching. Take care.